Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. Starting today, Spokane County's first responders will be vaccinated. We'll get to that here in just a few moments, but first we have some breaking news to get to.
At this hour, breaking news, an Amber Alert has been issued for a missing 15-year-old. Angeles Revuelta Buenrostro was reported missing from her home in Yakima County. She may be with a 30-year-old, Daniel B. Ovante, who recently made threats to take her and kill the family. Daniel is last known to be driving a black Ford F-150, 2001 Ford F-150 with the Arizona license plates. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Yakima Police, and we have that number for you right there on your screen.
In the meantime, we want to get to our other top story today, which is that Spokane County's first responders are starting to get those vaccinations against COVID-19. There is now a drive-through clinic that has been set up at the Fire Training Center.
Yeah, over the next 10 days, about 3,000 first responders in the county are expected to get the vaccine. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joins us live from there tonight. Amanda, can you tell us how many people have gone through the clinic so far today?
Well, Tom, the numbers are just coming in. 132 first responders have come through and gotten vaccinated here at the drive-through clinic. Now, this includes all firefighters, paramedics, ambulance, and some EMS-trained law enforcement officers. Now, the Health District and EMS Council, who partnered to put this all together, are pretty confident in the system here because things have run pretty smoothly so far today. Now, I do want to point out, though, that once a patient gets their COVID-19 vaccine here, they do not just drive off. With the Moderna vaccine, the patient is required to stay on site for 15 to 30 minutes in case they show any symptoms. So far, the health district is not aware of anyone showing symptoms. I talked to a paramedic with Spokane County Fire District 8 who is now vaccinated against the virus. He told me throughout the pandemic, his first thought would be, when he would get to a call, is, am I protected enough? And he trusts his gear and the PPE he wears to these calls. But now he says that thought no longer crosses his mind and he trusts the vaccine.
I felt good taking the shot. I didn't even feel it going in my arm, but I felt a little bit of relief knowing that I'm going to be protected pretty close to the near future, and then I'm going to protect my family. Eventually they'll get it. We'll all be protected, and I think that sense of relief is something I have not felt in the past 9 months.
Now, according to the health district, once vaccinated, EMS personnel are trained and will be able to administer the vaccine to future distribution groups. Tom, Whitney.
Amanda, before we let you go, we just had a quick question. Right now, we know that only people in that group of 1A are receiving this vaccine here in Washington. Do we have any idea when people in the next group, which would be 1B, when they will start to receive it, and maybe who some of those people are?
Yeah, that's a great question, Whitney. Right now, the Spokane Regional Health District expects direction on that 1B group from the state this week. And about that time is when we expect to get some sort of updated timeline on that category. Now, those who qualify for Group 1B could include people with an illness that makes them high risk for the virus. That includes folks with cancer or heart failure. Reporting in Spokane tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. In the meantime, a Washington union representing grocery store workers wants to see them get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's due to those workers facing potential exposure on a daily basis. However, grocery store workers are currently listed in Group 1B. Now, this is according to CDC recommendations. Right now, healthcare workers and residents or workers in long-term care facilities make up the first group to get vaccinated. But some workers waiting next in line worry that the process is moving slowly.
If the line's not moving, then, we're just stuck back here. But we're on the front lines every day, every hour, 8 to 10 hours a day.
United Food and Commercial Workers, which is the union that represents thousands of grocery workers, says those workers should be vaccinated quickly along with other essential workers.
They see these crazy movies. It might be somebody wanting to poison them. So they have kind of hysterical responses to the idea of a vaccination.
Residents of long-term care facilities are in the first group to get the coronavirus vaccine. Our Morgan Trow spoke to a man who believes that Americans are privileged to get the shots. She has the full story coming up on KREM 2 News at 5 o'clock. In the meantime, you may be wondering when or if you will be next in line to get your vaccination shot. Well, the state is launching a new tool that will allow residents to determine their eligibility for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, it's called Phase Finder, and it basically allows users to complete a survey to help them know when they're going to be eligible to get this vaccine.
So this tool officially launches after the 6th of January, so later this week. But in the meantime, we want to show you how it works. Right now, the tool only works for those eligible for Phase 1. So that includes healthcare workers and those living or working in long-term care settings, as well as those with underlying health conditions.
So to avoid using our own personal information, we're going to kind of go through this process with you, and we're going to fill out that survey basically using an alias profile. We're going to fill it in as a 60-year-old man who is living in Spokane County.
You'll be asked to put your age in, then the county you live in. The next question will ask if you live in a congregate living setting, long-term care facility, or adult family home. We answer no here. Next, if you work in a healthcare setting, we answer no here. Next, if you plan on taking the vaccine, we answer yes here. Then you will receive your eligibility status. Right now, a 60-year-old man living in Spokane County is not eligible to take the vaccine.
Users then have the option to sign up for text or email updates. And by the way, the Department of Health says contact information will remain private and will not be used for any other purpose.
Now here at KREM, we have created our own vaccine team to help you get the facts as Washington is rolling out its vaccine plan. So we want to head over here to answer some viewer questions. So come over here with me. We just want to talk about this because we know so many of you have had questions about this vaccine, from basically when you're going to even be eligible to get it to how safe the vaccine actually is. So one KREM 2 viewer asked us this question. I heard that Washington State has only given out 20% of the COVID vaccines that it has received. They want to know, is that true? And why is it taking so long to distribute? So here's what we know about that so far. Of the 356,000 doses delivered to Washington, we know only 58,000 have been administered. Health officials say that's simply because of storage concerns for Pfizer's vaccine and possible side effects that need to be taken into account. Plus, social distancing is also a concern, and the holidays slowed things down a bit as well.
Do you have a vaccine question you'd like the KREM 2 vaccine team to look into? Well, just text it to us at 509-448-2000. We will work hard to bring you the facts. In the meantime, for the latest COVID-19 vaccine updates, text the word vaccine to that same number and we'll send it straight to your phone.
All right, we want to switch gears now to weather because, boy, it's hard to believe that it was just this time last week. Spokane was a winter wonderland. We had tons of snow, and by now, most of it has melted. Tom Sherry is joining us now to break down what's in store for the rest of this week, Tom.
Yeah, it was crazy amounts of snow last week. One day, it was a 2-plow day, right? Had to get out there and get on top of it. Now we're talking about rain, but it's still snowing in the mountains. Winds are currently out of the south-southeast at 14 miles per hour. Look at how the low clouds and fog that's over by Lake Coeur d'Alene, where they've just got, the air is just almost saturated there. Right now we're at 40 here in the Spokane area. We do see a back edge to the rain out towards central Washington, but again, we'll look for showers to continue through the early evening hours and then begin to dry out late this evening and into the overnight hours. We should look for partly cloudy skies on your Tuesday. We'll look for a daytime high of 41. That's after a morning low of 30, so could get some black ice in the overnight and early morning hours. And then I think we're tracking more rain for us Tuesday night into Wednesday. The rest of your work week forecast is just minutes away.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. In our back to school updates tonight, West Valley School District could be bringing back more students to in-person learning. 4th and 5th graders could be headed back to the classroom here in the next few weeks. So here's what we know about how that schedule could end up looking like. Students would return in 2 different groups. Half of the 4th graders would return on January 14th, and then the other half the next day on the 15th. The 5th graders would return on January 21st and the other half on the 22nd. In the meantime, Spokane's in interim health officer is reporting the return of 3rd through 5th graders as well. They would return back to in-person learning too. The health district right now says they have been working closely with all the schools in the county so they can each develop plans to eventually return all elementary students back to the classroom. So we'll have more updates from SPS coming up tonight on KREM 2 News at 6.